So, welcome to this Game of Thrones special. We'll be visiting some of the fantastic Game of Thrones sites up and down the Antrim coast here in Game of Thrones territory, which of course is Northern Ireland. Now, if you want to get involved, all you have to do is comment, like, and share. You can ask any question you like about Game of Thrones. You can actually see me here sitting on the Iron Throne, and they've been planting the Iron Throne all over Northern Ireland to promote the return of Game of Thrones, the final season, season 8, which starts very, very, very soon. And if you are a fan of the show, this is going to be the program to watch. We'll be doing this quite regularly in the run up to the show, and you can get in touch with me. All you have to do is like, comment, and share on this, and I can bring you in and screen as well, and make you part of the show if you're a big, big fan of what is the biggest TV show in the world. It undoubtedly is the biggest and best in the world. I remember Dallas. I don't know whether you do remember Dallas or not, but Dallas was something else. It was really something else. But Game of Thrones has surpassed it in more countries and territories. I think is it heading towards or surpassed the 200? It surpassed the 200 mark, I think. And it really is a must watch. You can actually get it here in Britain and Ireland on Now TV and on Sky TV as well. Now TV is over delivery over internet, and Sky via satellite as well. So do get in touch. This, of course, is the Iron Throne, and it's in a pub called the Fullerton Arms, which is in a little village called Ballantoy, just near where several of the outdoor locations of Game of Thrones are actually filmed. Now, the Fullerton Arms does the whole shebang. You can come in, you can see a Game of Thrones door, and you can actually walk down to a couple of sites that are nearby. I'll be telling you more about them as the show goes on. Now, Ballantoy also has a port, Port Ballantoy, and it's not hard to work out that that's where Theon Greyjoy and all did is arriving and leaving to the Iron Islands. So a lot of these places you can't actually get to on the big coach tour. You need to go on a wee coach tour to actually get down there. But the Fullerton Arms is one of the 10 Game of Thrones doors that are actually located all across Northern Ireland, from the trees that blew down in a big storm a couple of years ago. They decided to turn the beech trees into sort of a tourist attraction to promote the actual series. Now, if you want to get in touch, don't forget, comment, like, and share. And I'll just put this up on the screen where this is. It's the Iron Throne at the Fullerton Arms. That's in Ballantoy in so not very far from the Giant's Causeway, and very close by to the Carrigareed Rope Bridge, which actually wasn't in the show, but they take you there. The real rope bridge was done via green screen. Say hello if you're watching and you're a Game of Thrones fan. Welcome along, and always say hello. Hiya, Linnea Elliott. Are you a Game of Thrones fan? Do you enjoy watching the show? Can you not wait until it returns again in a matter of weeks' time to screens all around the world? It certainly is a show that I can't wait to see. I've binged watched series 1 to 7 in about 10 days recently, and I can tell you there's a lot of twists and turns in that you'll want to get the angle on. You certainly will, because they're very, very, very sort of twist and turning, and I think there's a lot of things that are going to come back into play here. Now, we'll have a look, and we'll show you where some of these Game of Thrones locations are. I'm having a little Guinness. You can see one in my hand here. There's a little Guinness in my hand here tonight. I'll take a little drink. You can't wait, Linda. Yes, you're exactly right. It's very hard to contain yourself, because the show itself it's just fantastic. It's so well written. It's dramatized superbly for TV, and it really is a show to behold. Now, the Fullerton Arms, which I was pictured in with the Iron Throne there, it also has a Game of Thrones door. And I'll actually show you this Game of Thrones door, which is here. It is here. That's the Game of Thrones door. And it's very, very beautiful indeed. That's made from the beech trees at the dark hedges where the King's Road was filmed. Now, if you'd like to get in touch and say hello, don't forget to comment and like and share to your friends as well if they're Game of Thrones fans also, and they can join the show as well. My name is Justin McCartney, and I'm a tour guide, and I do a bit of Game of Thrones tours for a lot of international clients, and a couple of friends of mine are also extras in the show as well. Now, I'll tell you more about these Game of Thrones doors. And this is one of 10, and they are located at pubs that are connected to or closely nearby the locations of Game of Thrones in Northern Ireland. So there's lots of them. There's about 25 locations in Northern Ireland that Game of Thrones is filmed, but in reality there's many more, because a lot of people don't want you to know where it's actually filmed, but I know. Now, one of these doors is in the Queen, which is a family-run restaurant in Strangford. It's a village in County Down. Now, that's near where the village is, the actual Stark family village is. That's the Queen. Now, the door you're looking at is the one that is actually at the Fullerton Arms in Ballintoy. Right, but the other locations where the Game of Thrones doors are the Coyle River, County Down. That's known as River Run. The Cushendun Caves in County Antrim is another location. But the doors themselves are fabulous. One of them is in the Fiddler's Green pub. One of them is in the Percy French in County Down. Another one's in Blake's of the Hollow. Another one's in Owens. Another one is in Grace Hill House. That's near the Dark Edges. I've seen that one too. I've actually seen all 10 over the years, but I don't have pictures of them all to share. And another one is in Mary McBride's pub. And that's near the Cushendun Caves. And another one is in Ballygally Castle. And the final one is in the Dark Horse in Belfast. Now, that's easy to find if you're up in and around Belfast. Now, we'll show you some of these other locations, because they are very fancy indeed. Now, I'm actually looking down there, Linnea. We're actually looking down on the Iron Islands. These islands here, which are multiplied. This is the one with the rope bridge, the one just above the plinth there. It's about a mile away above the plinth. It actually is where the rope bridge goes out that they take you to, but that rope bridge is not the actual one from Game of Thrones. It was green screened elsewhere. Okay, so I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not the actual one. The other one was green screened. So this is called Port Nareeve. If I can get it right, Port Nareeve. Probably have got it wrong there. Port Nareeve, and it is basically on the way to a place called Carrick Reed Rope Bridge. Okay. Now, if you want to come from the States to Northern Ireland, the easiest way is to come into Dublin with Norwegian Airlines, and you can fly in for, I think it's $99 return. It certainly was when I went that way a couple of times to America. And you're about 2-3 hours north, but there are connections north to Belfast, and then day trips that take you around all these locations from Belfast. Now, you can also hire a car, but not everybody likes driving on the wrong side of the road. Now, there's lots of other locations that come to mind. We'll show you some of the rest of them. This is one of the places that the Black Watch was first seen. And you can actually see there's Ned Stark doing the beheading of the guy who claimed that there was a White Walker there. they didn't actually believe him, and they cut off his head. I don't know whether Ned had a sneaky suspicion it wasn't just old rope, because he was a wily old character, and I'd like to know whether he just didn't want to scaremonger, or whether he actually thought he was a crazy. I don't think he did think he was a crazy. You see, this is the thing. I think he was actually, sort of a bit weary of it. That's why he did it himself. He didn't let anybody else do it. Now, if you want to get involved, don't forget to like, comment, share. I know there's a number of people watching. If you're a big fan of the Game of Thrones show, this is going to be the live stream to watch, because I've been around all the sites. Tonight, we're concentrating on the County Antrim sites, and then we're going to head down to County Down and over to County Fermanagh later on, as we get closer to the start of the 8th series on Sky and on Now TV in the UK. Let us know where you're up to in Game of Thrones if you're watching. Some people are still in series 1, and I know some people are waiting for it to be translated into their language, because it makes more sense if you can watch it in a language you understand. And I certainly was a late convert to it, even though I'd always known the tours were very popular and I'd read up and taken the tours. I sort of decided, well, I need to watch the whole thing and get to know all about Game of Thrones. Now, if you have any questions you want to ask, please do. I will do my best to answer them. But in the meantime, we'll continue on with the show. Now, this area is called Salach Braes. Right now, Salach Braes is on the outskirts of a place called Ballygally, which is town of the Galleon or town of the Kitchen, depending on what way you're looking at it. Now, there are nice walks around Salach Braes, and you can go up there and in a car. A bus couldn't make it, and you can enjoy the view. You can actually see Scotland on a clear day, and you can see a couple of little islands called the Maiden Islands, and that is where lighthouses were based. There's an old and a new lighthouse there, and back in the day, the Germans during the First World War used to mistake them for submarines, believe it or not. They're just where that bluff is there. If you follow the sign up, you'll see them there. Now, welcome along to the show, Mindy and Megan Harmon. Are you Game of Thrones fans? Do you watch it all the time? Can you not wait until it's back again? Welcome along to the show. My name's Justin McCartney. I'm just having a wee Guinness tonight. You've maybe missed me sitting on the Iron Throne in the Fullerton Arms pub with a pint of Guinness, but we'll give you a quick view of me and the Guinness. There you go. There's me and the Guinness. Say hi. And this Salach Braes is actually unusual, because if you go on YouTube and you search for Mountain Spectre, you'll actually see, I was up there with a friend who is an extra in Game of Thrones, and we actually seen a Mountain Spectre. And a Mountain Spectre is, do you know the way you do finger puppets with your shadows with your hand? Well, a Mountain Spectre is a projection via the sun on the clouds, and we were actually magnified into giants on the clouds. Now, I'd seen this on TV in a Country File program once in the BBC, but I actually was in a Mountain Spectre in real life, and I can tell you it is a pretty spooky thing when you see yourself projected like in a humongous cloud as a sort of like shadow monster. You look like the dragons flying, or you look like the King of the Dark, the King of the North of the Wall, the real king, the killer king. Oh, he's a scary monster. I don't know what's going to happen in season 8. Now, I know you can't wait. Mindy, Megan, Linnea, do like, comment, and share. I'll tell you where this is. This is called Salach Braes, if you want to look it up. And I'll put that up on screen. Salach Braes. If I spelled that right, I have R-A Braes. There we go. And basically, Salach Braes is one side of a volcano. So there's a big caldera, and 66 million years ago, this was literally land of fire and ice, because it was we were pretty far north, and the magma was bubbling up not through much of a volcano, but there was a volcano in this area, but a lot of it was bubbling up in this area, and that's what formed all of this area. Now, where will we go next? If you want to find out more about Salach Braes, you can see on here that Salach Braes is a popular walking area. And basically, if you want to find out about Salach Braes, this is a great website to go to, and you can watch it out. Walk and I do a series of walks all around the place, and you can go to Walk and I and you can see the route. Now, it's not for the faint-hearted. You know, in a day pack you can do these, but remember, it's rough in the uneven ground, and a lot of Americans aren't good in the rough and even ground in the walking, and the weather can turn really, really badly here. So if you want to get involved in the show, all you have to do is like, comment, and share. This is a live Game of Thrones broadcast. I'm a tour guide, and if you like the show, do get involved. Attila, welcome along. Are you a Game of Thrones fan? Do you enjoy watching the show? If so, let me know. We're talking Game of Thrones. Now, we'll have a look at some other places in Game of Thrones which are very prevalent in people's minds. Now, a lot of these places are off the beaten track. The tours do go to some of them, but they don't go to all of them. Okay, so I will show you this place next. This is where we are. We're in Ireland at the minute. Okay, and we're just to the north of that little lake, which is the largest in Western Europe, just north of that. Now, I think, to give you an idea, I think Ireland in total is the size of somewhere like Rhode Island, 66,000 square miles, Northern Ireland, which is, if you cut off the top bit, you know, the bit that looks like the head of a wee dog, that is Northern Ireland. Okay. Now, let's have a look at some of the other places that you can go to if you do a Game of Thrones tour in Northern Ireland. I'm just enjoying a little drink tonight, a little Guinness. You'll be able to see me on the Iron Throne very shortly if you stay with us. Now, does this look familiar? Now, this is a panoramic view of the Iron Islands. Now, these two islands here were multiplied loads of times by CGI, and that makes them the Iron Islands. Okay, not everything you see in Game of Thrones is real, because only whales is dragons. There are no dragons or snakes in Ireland. Trust me on this one. And this is actually Sheep Island, and they're used. The Sheep Island's the island in the middle, further away, and you can see another island on the horizon further away, behind the wee island, more to the right of the centre. Now, that is actually Rathlin Island, and Rathlin Island is the only offshore island of Northern Ireland. They have an upside down lighthouse there. That's where Edward de Bruce seen the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and it's also where Richard Branson crashed his balloon in his transatlantic crossing. So some of the other places you can see on a Game of Thrones tour. This is me again on the Iron Throne. Welcome along if you've just joined us. Now, this is Larrybean Quarry, and Larrybean Quarry is where the big tournament was filmed. You remember the tournament? Do you? That was is it that Lady Brenya of Tarth, was it? Is that her name? I think it is, yeah. And this is how you spell Larrybean Quarry, okay? And Larrybean Quarry has been used in a number of scenes. I will look Larrybean Quarry up for you, and we'll tell you all about it. Now, the quarry was used, a lot of stones for like Liverpool and Glasgow were quarried from this quarry, all right? And it was in use up until, I think, the 1980s. So it looks old. It is old. It's been used for a long time, but it actually was in use more recent than you actually think. Now, we'll tell you a bit about more Larrybean Quarry. Now, Larrybean Quarry is bigger than it looks. It is a lot bigger than it looks. I can tell you that much. It's like it's an overflow car park for Carrigareed. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now, if you've been here and visited any of these sites in Northern Ireland, do say, because then we can discuss a wee bit about it. I'm Justin. I'm a tour guide. I take Game of Thrones tours. And this is Larry Bean Quarry. And it's a pretty impressive place. It's quite spooky and it's quite dangerous because there's high steep drops here and there's no guardrail. You could fall over and you could end up in diffs. Sometimes people do. Now, Larry Bean Quarry was in use up until the 1970s. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was a bit later than that. Okay, but it marks the start of a coast walk to Carrigareed, and was the setting for Renly Baratheon's camp in Series 2. And Gale Force Winds actually cancelled the first attempt at filming because it can get actually quite rough up here, indeed. Larry Bean Quarry is right beside Carrigareed Rope Bridge, okay? And a lot of these places are National Trust properties. A National Trust is like national parks or state monuments, and they're a big Quango sort of charity thing, and they look after a lot of the impressive locations in Northern Ireland. They do it quite well. They're very good at it, I must say. Now, you can go into Larry Bean Quarry for free, but you must pay if you're going across the rope bridge. Okay, it's as simple as that. Here's the National Trust site for Larry Bean Quarry. Now, Larry Bean Quarry is right beside the rope bridge. Okay, this is Larry Bean Quarry, and it's right beside Carrigareed Rope Bridge. I remember to like, comment, and share. If you're a big Game of Thrones fan, do get involved. Hi, Mindy, Linnea, and Attila. Say hello. Always say hello. If you're a big Game of Thrones fans, it does start in a few days' time. And we'll just run through some of the fantastic Game of Thrones locations on the Antrim coast in Northern Ireland, which of course is famously Game of Thrones territory. Now, I've binge watched all of the series just quite recently, and I can't wait. I just cannot wait for season 8. Now, we've about 10 minutes to go on the show tonight. I'll show you some other places in a minute. Now, the Shadow Baby. This is a place that you go to on the big bus tour. This is the cave, and the Shadow Baby was born in here. And you know what was it? The guy with the fingers off that was the king's right-hand man, and he's still in it. He was the guy that led the attack on King's Landing and the boats, and the son died. It's called the Knight of the funny name because he wasn't really a noble. He was just made up. He was a smuggler, but not a pirate. Gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. It's not like me. So say hello. This is a Game of Thrones podcast. We're exploring some of the areas that you can visit on a Game of Thrones tour if you visit Northern Ireland, which is Game of Thrones territory. Now, this is quite hard to find. This is in a place called Cushion Dun. All right, Cushion Dun. Now, Cushion Dun is famous because it's connected to another man called Lord Cushion Dun, right? And Lord Cushion Dun commissioned an architect to build the village for him. It doesn't really look like your traditional Irish villages. And if you've ever seen the show The Prisoner with Patrick McGugan, the classic 60s show, okay? The classic 60s show, The Prisoner, that is in Portmeirion in Wales, and that is actually designed by the same guy that designed Cushion Dun. Now, I'm going to show you this little village of Cushion Dun from above, okay? And it's quite a steep road. If you're coming in by a big coach, you must come in from the correct direction. So don't come in from the direction I'm showing you in the minute. You'll actually see Cushion Dun and the North Channel of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, these caves are round the corner here, okay? These caves are round the corner. This is the cave round the corner. Okay, so watch this. All right, you see this picture here? Those white houses, the caves are hidden round the back of this. All right, they are hidden round the back of it. All right, they're hidden round the back of it. So you come in and you walk from the car park round the back of these white houses, round to the caves. Now, a lot of these places are free. A lot of them are free. All right. So don't forget to like, comment, and share if you're watching the show. This is going to be a regular podcast. We're doing County Antrim places this week. We'll do County Down another week, and then we'll do the other locations across Northern Ireland as we run up to the launch of Game of Thrones in a few days at time. I think it's how many days away? Is it 18 days away or something like that? Well, look it up. How long did Game of Thrones? There's still a few other places to go here to visit. Now, one of them is called Murlough Bay, and Murlough Bay is very hard to get to. Okay, it is very, very hard to get to because you really need a 4x4 to go to Murlough Bay. We will show you it very, very shortly. This is Murlough Bay, and you can actually see it here. This is it. This is Murlough Bay. Now, you might remember that Murlough Bay is where a lot of the horseback scenes are filmed in Game of Thrones. And it's used in a couple of other ones as well. It's used when your man Lannister is walking around with Lady Brenya of Tarth walking around there. So it is a pretty remote and inhospitable place. There is a road down to it, but it's not a proper road. It isn't actually maintained properly. It's not metalled, as we say. And we'll have a look down there. So Murlough Bay is also close to Fairhead, which was also used in Game of Thrones. Now, Murlough Bay, it's between Fairhead and Torhead, and it is it's an outstandingly beautiful and remote location. You can actually see round to the left Rathlin Island and great views over to Scotland. You'll also be able to see the Mullican Tower. You know, Mullican Tower, cliffs rolling in from the mist rolling in from the sea, Isla and Jura. You can actually see 5 whiskey regions from there. All right. So if you're a whiskey fan, Bushmills is nearby all of this as well. So this is a Game of Thrones podcast. Welcome along. You love it? Do you like it, Nick? Do you love Game of Thrones? It's a great show. We're not long away from season 8. Welcome along to the show. This is Murlough Bay, and I have actually seen nuclear submarines in Murlough Bay. I kid you not. Now, I know you think he's telling Porcupine lies. I'm not. I'll actually probably at some point bring up a picture and show you it. Okay. So welcome along to the show. If you've just joined us, we're talking Game of Thrones. We've been talking it for about 20 minutes. We'll go to the half-hour point. We've got a wee bit to run yet. We've got a few other places to show you. And if you want to see what I look like, I'm just enjoying the evening. There we go. I'm having a Guinness, as you can see. And one of these Game of Thrones locations that we haven't shown you yet is where the dragons land. Where are we? There we go. Look at this place here. Just to prove it's live, and I really am here. There's a picture from, it's a couple of years ago now. This is actually downhill, okay? And this is also a National Trust property. Now, they sort of tend to charge in here, but you can get onto the beach for free. It's actually, you can bring your car onto the beach downhill. Now, a lot of the beaches were used for Game of Thrones, different beaches for different scenes, but they're all along this coast. Now, you can whiz around this coast in a long day, all right? The tour is from 9 in the morning to late tea time. But if you're spending a whole day in a car, you can whiz around all those locations, right? But really, to do it justice, you want to spend minimum of a weekend. Maybe if you're a big Game of Thrones fan and you haven't been to Northern Ireland before, you could easily spend a week, 10 days here. All right. So welcome along. Remember to like, comment, and share. Get involved. If you want to join the show, actually, if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, we can actually bring you live on air as well. But that's scary for people, isn't it? So thanks a lot for watching. Linnea, Mindia, Megan, Nick, all the other people as well. Thanks for all your comments and inputs. We'll be doing the County Down locations of Game of Thrones. That's more the Winterfell end of things. And we might actually show you one night. We'll show you a picture of places you can't actually go to at all. They're strictly off limits. We do have some pictures of places that are off limits, the unmentionables, so to speak, because they have signs up, don't stop, and I have seen a fake police car there at times to actually put you off from stopping and taking pictures. So let me see, what are we up to in terms of time? We've been going now for, I'm sure, 22 minutes now, maybe longer. Thanks for all your comments tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you want to ask me any questions, you can post them on here, and I will check them out at a later date. And you can join the show again. This is downhill, and just to show you where this is where the dragons were, and it's actually located right up, if you went right up from the top, right at the top of Ireland. Ireland's the island you can see there, and that's Scotland over there. A lot of Americans think that's Scandinavia. Now this is Ireland, and that is Scotland, and you can see how close the north of Ireland is to Scotland. It's only a few miles, and it was often easier for people to travel by boat from the coast of Ireland to Scotland than to travel inland in Ireland, because you see it's not the mount, it's not the Rockies, it's not the Appalachians, but it's quite mountainous. This is actually a genuine photograph from space, by the way. It's not CGI'd. All right. So thanks a lot for watching. Do stay in touch and enjoy the show. We'll be back closer to Game of Thrones launch day, doing all about the County Down locations, and then we'll do another Facebook Live special about the other locations down for Manaway in Northern Ireland. Thanks for watching.